Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here to set up the budget for the month of July 2019, and so as you guys know, I have moved out of my old planner because it ended in June, or it will end in June because it is June at the filming of this video, and so therefore I have to move into a new planner because I am a person who prefers paper and pen budgeting, and I just prefer to just buy a planner and make it basically turn it into a budget planner. So this is an Erin Condren Deluxe monthly planner. I got this from the Erin Condren website, and I do have a referral link in my description box. If you use it, you will get $10 off of your first Erin Condren purchase. So anywho, we are going to go ahead and move into this. And so I haven't officially moved into this. By moving into this, I mean moving into the video. I have not officially moved into this planner, but do check back within the next week or so, and I will probably have officially moved into this. There are some things that I want to put in here. As you guys know, I make my own stickers, and I can, kind of customize things the way that I see fit. So I will be doing that whenever I find the time. But furthermore, the budget doesn't stop just because this isn't fully set up. So I am going to go ahead and flip to July, and I am using the neutral one, which is kind of crazy. And so these stickers I sell in my Etsy shop. This is the Michelle kit. This is the first page for July. It's a notes page, and I'm going to use this to track my goals. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I can't actually set July goals until June ends, and I see just what we did or did not accomplish, and then I'll go later, probably the first day of July, and write in these goals. But I like to get this out of the way and set up the budget prior to the new month starting. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I did have to swap out some stickers. So if you buy my sticker kits, as an example, this is the August kit. I swapped out because on this page, which I haven't set up that one yet, on this page, these stickers, the bigger ones, were too big. So I just kind of swapped them out and put the smaller ones here, and I put the bigger ones, there. So just want to point that out if you use my stickers, that if you're going to use this neutral, it won't be that big of a deal. You can just kind of swap out the stickers and it'll still look nice and cohesive and all of that good stuff. So sorry about that, but moving back, because I kind of went off. This is what I call the monthly spread, and so on this I like to use my stickers, obviously, just to kind of spruce it up. And then mainly I use this to track paydays and to track bills and things like that. So just to kind of walk you guys through this sticker here says nil net balance. So we are paying off my husband's student loans, expecting to be finished with the rest of his debt, the last of his debt, which is his student loans, this year. And so I'm going to track the balance on June 1, just so I know what it is. Obviously I can keep going to the app and signing in and doing all of that, or I can just, that's kind of the perk for me of having a planner, I can just whip it out real quick. It takes 2 seconds and I can just see what the balance is and stuff. So I'm going to put that here on Monday the 1st. We have an Etsy payday, and we have a payday every Monday. So as for Etsy, I can actually get paid whenever I want. I can pull my money every day, once a week, twice a month, once 2 times a day. I mean, whatever. I can kind of just pull my money whenever I want to, but I just let it pay me weekly because that provides the least amount of stress and the most balance. So Monday, July 1st will be a payday. July the 3rd, our cable/internet bill is due, which we're going to walk through the full budget, so I'm not going to go into great detail about the provider and great detail about the bills, but that's going to take place on the 3rd. The 4th, this is going to be for my full time, and it'll probably be, oops, it's not. So traditionally it would be Thursday the 4th, but because we're off the 4th and the 5th, and the 4th is a holiday, we'll technically get paid the 3rd. So really, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, but just so you know, we actually will get paid on the 3rd, and that might be 2 paydays or it might not be. If not, I'll get my second payday that sometimes comes with the first one, probably the 11th or the 18th or something like that. But it's not really that big of a check, so I really don't consider it too much. But my actual payday will be technically on the 3rd, although I have it down for the 4th. And then on the 5th, we have to pay rent/water, and we do have to pay pest control. We don't have any bills due between the 5th and the 17th. And so as you see, we do have another payday for Etsy on the 8th. And then the 15th, this is actually Etsy plus full-time for my husband. And I didn't write that down because I was setting this up and I was like, let me just turn on the camera before I set it all the way up. So full-time Marky. And then we have an electric bill due here, which is going to be, I don't know what it'll be, but they do not send me the bill until we're a couple of days into the new month. So around the 2nd or the 13th, I will know, and then I'll just put it here. And then this is going to be Shay gym fees. So yeah, I was setting it up to kind of save time, but I figured there's no harm in kind of walking you guys through it. And I know I'm not really zoomed in right now, but we'll talk about all of this a little later. So this is going to be $19.99. And then on the 18th, we have full-time Shay again. With, like I said, a possibility of the 3rd check coming the 11th or the 18th. And then we have Marky Gym, I call my husband Marky, fees, which are $19.99. And then on the 21st, this is usually a YouTube payday. However, we don't get paid on Sundays, so, and they don't pay us beforehand. That's not it. The YouTube is not with the paying prior to. They pay after, on the next business day, not like my full-time job. So that will be on the 22nd. So we'll have an Etsy payday and a YouTube. As for the 21st, though, my student loan will be due, and my husband's student loan will be due as well. And I do know the amounts for those, so I can go ahead and drop those in. Mine has been adjusted and what have you, and so therefore it will be $221.78. And my husband's, because we're actively working to pay his down, a different amount is due every month. So they're telling me right now that in July, $146.84 will be due, and that'll kind of just fluctuate because, like I said, we're actively working to pay down his loans. But as for my student loan, between July of this year and for the next 12 months, I will be paying $221.78 because I am on an income-based repayment plan by choice. And also it kind of makes a whole lot of sense as we're working to pay off my husband's student loans, which those are first on the chopping board now because we've already paid off a lot of our other debt. I don't know if you guys have been following for a long time, but only student loans remain at this point. Credit cards have been paid off and used appropriately because we just kind of use it if we need to rent a car and we don't feel like going through drama of trying to go to a company that doesn't offer us a discount, because my husband gets a discount, a state discount for for a lot of things. So it's just what we choose to do, just have a credit card for certain things. And we paid off our car and some of our other debts. So we're just trying to get these student loans paid off, you guys, and we're trucking right along. But moving on to the 23rd, this will be a cell phone bill, and that will be $86.50. And then the next kind of thing we have going on will be our life insurance bills, which they're due on the same day for $42.19. They do come out separately, obviously, because there's two different policies, but we just kind of I was saying grump and loop. So I was trying to say group. So we just kind of group them together. And then we will have a 5th Etsy payday on the 29th, and then my husband's full-time job. So he gets paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. And honestly, I'm just an organized person. Anybody can tell you that's just who I am as a person. And I find myself to be the most productive and organized and what have you whenever I am able to kind of like physically write in and do what it is that I need to do. So this is pretty much what our month is going to look like. We will receive income from other sources, like I do coaching for which I do a few sessions each month for business coaching, small business coaching, nothing major, Etsy coaching, YouTube coaching, that kind of thing. There are some other ways that I get paid, like through affiliate marketing and what have you, but those are all really minor and not worth us counting on, and some of them just kind of randomly pop up. So we just kind of mark the major stuff here. So yeah, this is what we like to do for our monthly spread, or what I like to do. And then over here, these are really not so much goals, but rather to-dos. What I really like doing, and actually I will zoom you guys in for this because I can't even really see it on my little screen here. So un momento, por favor. So I basically like using this to kind of write down any little to-dos and such that I need to be mindful of during the month of July. So I didn't really leave a lot of space to kind of go in as we progress through July. But anyway, as of right now, we are going to be trying to figure out when exactly we're going to do our Houston budget workshop. Michelle and I, we were thinking this weekend, but a lot of people are kind of going to be out of town, and it's kind of like unfair, sort of. It's fair to us because we don't have to request off from our full-time jobs, but it's really not fair to other people. So we're thinking, you guys voted on both of our polls, and you guys actually voted, I think collectively, I know the people who voted on my poll, for the last Saturday. So we're gonna see if we can work out that, and if we can, we will announce as soon as possible. So whenever you're watching this video, it is the end of, it's June 24th. So we're gonna try to get this taken care of actually this week, because our rep is supposed to be back from vacation this week. But that'll be a thing, so keep out on the lookout for that. Pest control, we are supposed to have to pay a little more for rent/water this month, well, in the month of July, because pest control will be tacked on there. Again, we'll go into further detail a little later. August is my little cousin's birthday, and so she's looking to come to Atlanta. Coincidentally, the stars are aligned for your girl. My other friend is looking to she's going to be in Atlanta that same weekend, so it kind of all works out all well and good. And then my best friend would come with my cousin because we're mutual friends. So it sounds like it's going to be a lituation, but we haven't actually proceeded with booking anything. So I'm just putting it here so I can remind myself that that's going to be a thing in August, and we'll probably start, like booking, or, either booking a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever in July. So that's just kind of a financial thing that I need to be mindful of. Also, date night. Probably, honestly, if depending on when the budget workshop will be, I will probably try to schedule a date around that. I don't schedule all the dates. Sometimes my husband does, but I have been kind of doing it recently only because, this is really not related to budgeting at all, but there are things that, your spouse would really want to do that you haven't done so before. And so I have just been thinking about a whole bunch of things that he would like to do that I know that he would like to do. So I've kind of planned the date nights probably the last 2 months, or I'll pick the activity and he'll pick the restaurant or what have you. But either way, we need to be mindful of planning our date night for July. I will likely get my hair done, and I may hire an assistant to help in my Etsy shop. I have coworkers who would be more than willing to help out, but I have to be able to relinquish, not control, but just I'll be honest, I don't really feel like teaching people, what to do and how to do it and all of that. So I kind of just do it myself, but I'm not opposed at all to hiring an assistant. I just have not done so because I don't want to set aside a time to have to walk that person through it. Because it's not like, I can teach someone how to run my Etsy shop or print or cut or whatever, and then that'll be the end of it. Only a day of training. It'll be an ongoing thing. They'll have to watch me, learn from me, probably take at least a couple of months to where they can get to a point where we can get to a point where I would feel comfortable with them kind of taking over and doing the work when I'm not around. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just don't feel like doing the work to get them to that point. So therefore, I have just not been hiring an assistant, but I would really love if I can make that happen, because then that's less work that my husband and I have to do, because right now he basically has to help me in the shop. So we could be allocating our time doing other things if we had an assistant. So that's a thing. Also, because August is going to be a 3-month pay period for me, and my husband gets like a bonus, so technically for him as well, although it's kind of tacked on to another payday, so not like a 3. I mean, quantity wise, it's like a 3 payday, but really it's just 2. If that makes sense, probably not. But anyway, and also I don't have to roll over a whole bunch or, you know, plan to do that because we have 5 paydays for Etsy in the month of July. So that's all well and good. And so yeah, that's pretty much just some things to be mindful of for the month of July. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and like actually walk through the actual budgeting part. This is just what I do first, and then I move on to actually budgeting. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, so again, I just kind of switched up some things, and that's why this little July budget sticker looks so small in comparison to the sticker behind it, but no worries there. So we're going to go ahead and set up our budget here. I have a place for income, budgeted, actual, plus or minus, which I really don't do plus or minus. I really do actual around the middle of the month, and then I do another actual column so I can put in the stats or the numbers at the end of the month. So I'll just mark that out, but this is how I sell things in the shop, because I know a lot of people really like to kind of see how much they were over and how much they were under, and I do too, but I actually use an app for that. So therefore this serves a different purpose for me. So I'm in every dollar. I'm looking at the budget that we have set up together, my husband and me, for the month of July. And I'm just going to go ahead and go through and just kind of put the numbers over here, because after I do that, the app is kind of like neglected in a way. So I know it's kind of difficult to understand, but I have tried to explain it multiple times on my channel. This is just how I like to do things. I like to let phones and computers and all of that calculate and do math for me, and then I just kind of take it from there. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So as for income, we have Shay income and we have Mark income, and so we are budgeting $6,500 for my income, and we like to budget. I mainly like to budget using the least amount that I intend to bring in, and then if I bring in more, that's all well and good, but you definitely don't want to be out here in these streets over budgeting for your income, because if you don't bring in what you say that you're going to bring in, then the rest of your budget will suffer. And so some people have tighter budgets, some people have looser budgets, but either way, it's really important that, you know, you're being realistic about the income, because your income determines what you can spend. As for my husband, we actually don't budget anything because, as you guys know, we actually save all of my husband's income, and so we have committed ourselves in June to not using his income absolutely whatsoever, because there were times where we were saving his income, but we would kind of dip into it, which kind of defeats the purpose if you're going to be dipping into the savings account on a regular basis. So therefore, we committed at the end of May that for June we would not touch his income, and we have not, I am proud to admit, but we kind of don't have any choice because we are kind of starting the home buying process. If you follow me on Instagram at Shay Budgets, then you know that. That's kind of why I started the Instagram account anyway, just to kind of fill in the gaps, because you can't really count on me to fill in the gaps on YouTube, because by the time I sit down to do a video, I probably will have forgotten everything that, you know, has transpired within the past week or whatever the case is. So I kind of give real-time updates on Instagram, but yeah, we're kind of starting the home building process actually, for which case we have had to kind of like maneuver some things, and I think we have a solid plan, but yeah, we definitely can't be out here dipping into savings, because we'll never meet our financial goals if we do that. Unfortunately or fortunately, I'd like to dip into savings to buy some stuff, but we're holding fast to what we said that we would do. So therefore, the total amount, obviously, if we were including his income in this budget, then we would put that here, and then we would add it up and we would get the total, which would change our budget essentially. But because we do not live off of my husband's income, but rather we save it and we invest, well, it's all around savings. It's investing in liquid savings as well. We are not including that in this budget. So the first thing that I'm going to write down here is going to be the housing category. So in the housing category, we have rent/water. Now, we actually have to pay pest control for the month of July. And so really, I can put P. I'm just going to put PC so I don't move over into this because that would cause me stress. And so altogether, rent/water is normally $620, but adding on the amount that we have to pay for pest control, we are going to end up paying $837 for the month of July, August, and September. And then actually our lease ends end of August, so we will have to do a new lease. And then either way, we do still have to pay another amount for the pest control. We could pay it in a lump sum. I think it's about $650. So I think the number is $650 divided by 3, which gives us about $2, whatever that is. The difference is $837 minus $620. So we could just pay it all up front, but we kind of really don't see any point in doing so, because really, I don't really like paying stuff unless I absolutely have to. So therefore, we will pay the pest control July, August, and September. But the amount might change for our rent because we do have to renew our lease. So I don't know what that will bring, but $837 for rent, water, pest control for the month of July. Moving on to the utilities category, the first thing that we have is cable/internet. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but my husband and I live in the state of Georgia, just the two of us. And we have high-speed cable through, I guess, Comcast. I don't know who's what. I think Comcast is the cable. And then, wait, what did I just say? I just made that up. We have high-speed internet, and we have like 140 channels maybe, and a sports package through Comcast/Xfinity. And we pay $110.72 every month. And my husband ain't going for canceling that, so that's why we still have it. Otherwise, I could totally get rid of cable because I never watch TV unless my husband wants to. Which, if you think about it, kind of, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning of this video. This would be one that I would go into great detail about. I like to do this every now and again. Probably like every quarter, once every few months, I like to just kind of spill it. Honestly, sometimes we do date nights in, and I guess paying for this cable saves us money, sort of, kind of. I don't know. I'm not sure. I guess you could look at it that way, because that's the only time I watch cable is whenever we have like a date night in. So if you want to look at it that way, you may be able to help justify the cost of cable if you're like me and you're not really that interested in cable. Because I know a lot of people, a lot of women especially, ask me about, you know, trying to help get their spouses on board and what have you. And I don't know, maybe you just have to justify some things. So I don't need cable, but in my head, that's how I justify it. Also, it brings my husband joy, so I kind of can't, I can't negate that fact, and I have to justify that as well. So moving on to the next utility, which is electricity. So right now, the Georgia Power app is telling me that we will pay anywhere between like $190 to $200. So I'm just going to go ahead and do $225. And I did that again. This is how I used to make my twos. And then I switched to this, but I'm trying to go back to that, but it's not really working out. But that is, I'm going to just go ahead and budget a little bit higher for electricity because I just want to be on the safe side. So I'm going to budget $225, and we live in Georgia and we run our AC pretty much around the clock. There's really no way to get around that. So I just bite the bullet and pay all the money that I have to pay in the month, during the summer months here in Georgia. So the next one would be our cell phones. So we have AT&T prepaid. And a lot of you guys ask if you can have AT&T prepaid with the type of phones that we have, because we have the iPhone XRs. And yes, all you have to do, because AT&T will not sell you a phone out of there without having a plan, like a postpaid plan, a regular plan. You're going to have to buy your phone from Best Buy or Apple or somewhere like that if you want to get it where you can use it with any carrier. And so that's kind of how we get our phones. We just go to Best Buy or Apple, we buy the phones outright, and then we just pay, you know, put the SIM card into the new phone, and then, you know, it kind of just activates, and it's really easy. And so we have AT&T prepaid, and we pay $86.50 each month. And I have unlimited everything. My husband has unlimited talk, text, and like 4 gigabytes of data, and he never even uses them in a month. So if he did start to go over, and well, actually they just cut you off, and then you can choose to pay for another gigabyte or for some more gigs, and we haven't done that. If he gets cut off, which he may have gotten cut off once or twice in the 2 years where I was getting cut off on a regular basis, so I just decided to switch. If he started to get cut off a little bit more, then probably we would just get him an unlimited data plan as well, but seems to be working out so far. The next category is going to be allowance. So we have Shay allowance, and for the month of July we're going to do 100, and then for my husband we're going to do 100 as well. Pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. We just go with 100 because it seems to be fair. If you have like a fancier type of lifestyle, which I do also, then maybe, you know, $20 a month for an allowance isn't quite going to work out. Sounds like it would just be unattainable and stressful. So I kind of have what I would like to call a fancier lifestyle where, you know, I kind of like somewhat fancy things. So $100 seems to do the trick for me in my fancy lifestyle. The next one is beauty. So again, kind of a fancy lifestyle, but I feel like I went a great amount of time just kind of looking like, I'm just gonna be honest, looking like trash. So I don't want to look like trash anymore, so I committed in 2019 that I would not look like trash, for which case that kind of involves getting my nails done, because that's something that I once used to do that I really loved. I really don't know that I care a whole lot. I just, because I show my hands on here and all kind of stuff, I just feel like getting my nails done is kind of the right thing to do. And now that my nails are grown out, I get the S&S powder, but I'm thinking about just kind of once they get stronger, I'll just wear my own nails. So that'll help cut back on beauty. As for hair, I mean, I guess my hair never really looked like trash. That's probably a stretch to say that it has, but you know, it definitely wasn't looking like it could look. So therefore I get my hair done, mainly because I'm on the tube and I can't be out here looking crazy, I don't think. So therefore that is what beauty covers. Also, it covers in the summer an occasional pedicure, and it covers eyebrows, and it covers my husband's haircut, but mainly it is so high because of hair and me and the price that I pay to get my hair done. So that's beauty. The next one is donations/gifts. So we budget $50 every month. This is for like minor stuff. Minor things like donating to car washes and stuff, like nothing too major. If we do have a birthday, we'll try to include it in there, but a lot of times gifts are they just kind of pop up, and so we just kind of give whenever we can. A lot of times we give from our savings account, which, like I said, we're committing to not doing that because we did have to, in our effort to give in May, I think, or June, we ended up giving, I don't know, like between the last, and it was within a month, we had loaned out like $500. So that kind of stuff has to come from savings and what have you. So that is donations/gifts. The next one is toiletries. So toiletries is kind of tricky. Some months we don't need everything. Some months we need everything. This month in June, we needed everything, so we're over in toiletries, which you will see. So that pretty much means that in July, we won't need everything. So we'll probably spend around $30. Oftentimes, too, I'll realize that like we're out of lotion or what have you. And I don't know, it kind of just seems to be a little random. So we just always like to leave money here. I don't know, we're not going every month and buying toilet paper and paper towels, like, because it's just 2 of us, so we don't have to do that. But it just seems like I'll just be like, dang, I don't have any like Clorox wipes, like things that I don't really buy a whole lot. So just like gifts, we like to keep just a little money here to cover those things. The next one is miscellaneous, but I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. The next one is travel. So honestly, I don't really know what's going on here. I'm going to budget a whole lot of money, which Again, I don't really know what's going on here, but what I do know is that a lot of times for the workshops that Michelle and I do, we don't get paid until after, so we have to front a lot of the money, and we do get reimbursed. My husband was thinking about coming with me to Houston, which basically means that this amount would essentially double. So that was the original plan. I think that after recognizing that a lot of times when we're doing these workshops, we'll get money reimbursed, but we don't get all of our money reimbursed and stuff like that. I think he's realizing that it's not worth his coming to Houston. Like, I would love for him to come, but I think that he should probably sit this one out. So he may or may not come to Houston. I mean, honestly, we can afford for him to come, but we really do have financial goals that we're trying to meet. So it's kind of like, you come along to Houston, which he's never been. I have been, so I can understand his wanting to come and our original plan for him to come. But really, if he doesn't come, then we can cut that in half, and then that can go towards his student loans. So I'm not gonna, I'm not going to heavily advocate for him not to come, but I think that it would be worth his staying, because that's a lot of money and I just can't even stomach. I mean, that's literally double our rent, because our rent is $620. So I think he's going to have to sit that one out. We will see what's going to happen there. So stay tuned. The next one is business. And this is for my business expenses. I've recently been trying to track this, more so for me, but also to show you guys as well. Mainly, I just spend money on sticker paper and like items for my Etsy shop. I do spend a little money for like the upkeep of my YouTube and like little things here and there, apps and stuff that I choose to try or whatever. So usually it's about $400 or so a month. Some months a little bit higher depending on sales. If sales are higher, if sales are up, and then other months kind of like, in the 300 range. Like I said, other months maybe in the 400 range. So I am assuming it'll probably be around like 380, 400. So that's what we're going to do for business for the month of July. The next one is health. So we have Shay Gym. And then we have Mark Gym, which I should have just combined those together. Our gym fees are $19.99. As you guys know, I'm not working out with my personal trainer anymore because the gym closed that we trained at. So therefore that saves us hundreds of dollars a month. But these are our regular gym fees. The next one is transportation, for which we have gas. And we are going to budget $160. Gas is up, way up. So we're doing $160. Last year, I think we were sticking around $120. Or the year before, we were around $120. Gas kind of just continued to rise. So we're up to about $160. We still make out okay because I drive a hybrid vehicle. And my husband's commute, my commute to work is long, but my husband's commute is like 10 minutes or so. So we still kind of make out okay. I know we were just meeting up with our friends when we were back home, when I was back home. My husband came with me. And they spend like $700 and some a month on gas. So, I mean, I guess we're doing good in comparison to some people. But, we are creeping on up, which I'm not really happy about. I don't like paying a lot for gas. I don't know what it is. But anyway, the next category would be our insurances. So we have car insurance, but that was paid in full in June. So that's not due again until December, for which I'm not going to choose to put that in the budget this month. Life insurance, though, it's due monthly, and together they are $42.19. Renter insurance, I'm not going to put in the budget either. We pay that in full in May, so it's not going to be actually, I didn't even think about that when I paid it in full. The chances are we won't even be renting a year from now. So, a year from May. So I guess I would get my money back. I mean, obviously, I don't know, but whatever. Rent insurance is paid up for the duration of the time that we will be renting. And that's not mandatory either. I don't think I've ever mentioned that. We just have always had renter insurance. So I'm not going to put car insurance or renter insurance, for which case we will move on to food. So this is like food, groceries, restaurants and dates, and we do about $600 a month. We should be doing about $600 a month. Some months we go over a little bit, but honestly, you know, we're still down a lot from the very beginning, but we still are spending a decent amount on food. So that's something we will forever be working on. The next one is Shay loan. So again, this is my student loan, and it's going to be $221.78 for the next year. And then we have my husband's student loan, and for July they want $146.84. And then we have our snowball payment, which is the extra that we put towards my husband's student loans. And right now we're looking to do $1,288.13. Again, if my husband chooses to forego Houston, then we would be able to hit our goal of about $2,000. So that needs to be a thing. And then let's see, the next thing that we have would be miscellaneous. That's why I forgot it last time, because I waited to put it at the bottom and then I forgot. And that would be $100. So this is for anything that we basically forget to budget for, which is a lot of things, actually. More things than you would imagine. Car, tire, what do you call it? Like oil changes, tire rotations, things of that sort, or just kind of anything that kind of randomly pops up. And then the last thing that we have would be our savings, and that would just be the savings from this income and not the savings from my husband's income. And to be honest, this is more like a rollover than a savings. So it's really more like money that we choose to leave in our account so that when we move into the new month, we can go ahead and start paying our bills, because a lot of times bills will be due before paydays occur. So really that's what it is, like a rollover rather than a general savings. And that would be $556.86, which would bring our total amount to $6,500. And so the reason why our total is the same as our income is because we do an every dollar budget, which means that we give every dollar a name. And that just pretty much means that whenever you start with your budget, whatever amount it is that you have written down as your income, you need to allocate for every single dollar like this suggests, which is give every dollar a name. So you just want to make sure that you budget all the way down to zero. You include retirement, you include savings, you know, liquid savings, you include debt, extra debt payments, minimum debt payments, you include all of that. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to go through this with you guys and set up my July budget on camera like I've been doing for literally 2 years. July 31st will be the 2-year anniversary of this here YouTube channel. So that's actually very interesting. Maybe I'll do something special and do some giveaways or something like that. But anyway, that is it for this video, you guys. I just wanted to show you guys our July budget and the plans that we have for July. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.